Milena was a poor village woman. She lived alone at the edge of town. People did not like or help her. One cold morning, she was found dead. No one asked how she really died. The villagers carried her in silence. They buried her before the sun set. No prayer was spoken for her soul. The grave was near old black trees. That night the village felt different. The wind was slow and very cold. Dogs cried and hid under houses. A man screamed inside his home. In the morning he was found dead. Blood covered the walls and floor. Near the window were dark footprints. When people ran to the graveyard, Milena's grave was open and empty. At night Milena rose from the grave. Cold soil fell from her dark hair. Her eyes were open and very black. She did not breathe like a human. Her body moved without pain or fear. The moonlight followed her steps. She walked slowly out of the graveyard. The trees were silent as she passed. The earth did not stop her anymore. Milena went to the first small house. The door opened without a sound. Inside, a man was sleeping alone. She stood near him and smiled wide. He woke up and tried to scream loud, but her hand was already on his mouth. In the morning only blood was left. Fear was born in the dark village. The next days were full of dark fear. People locked doors before sunset. No one walked alone after night came. More bodies were found in houses. Each face was pale and full of pain. Mothers held children very tight. Men stayed awake with sharp tools. They whispered her name in fear. Everyone knew Milena was back. The villagers met near the church. They spoke with anger and hate. One man named Petar stood forward. He said the dead must be stopped. They took fire and a wooden stake. At night they went to the graveyard. The air was cold and very heavy. Milena's grave waited in silence. They opened the grave with shaking hands. Milena was lying inside the earth. Her eyes were open in the dark soil. She looked awake, but did not move. Petar raised the wooden stake high. His hands were wet with cold sweat. The men stepped back in deep fear. Only Petar stayed close to her. He pushed the stake with all his force. The wood hit her chest very hard. A loud crack broke the night air. But Milena did not scream or cry. Her mouth opened in a wide smile. The stake broke into 2 pieces. Her eyes followed every man there. Fear turned into pure terror fast. The men ran away from the grave. Behind them, Milena started to laugh. That night, Milena did not stop. Her anger was strong and very deep. She walked beyond her own village. The moon followed her silent steps. She reached the first nearby village. Lights went out one by one inside. People screamed, but no one escaped. Doors fell and blood covered floors. The night drank every living soul. Before morning, she reached for villages. Fire and death followed her dark path. Animals cried and ran into the woods. Children and elders fell without mercy. When the sun finally started to rise, nothing moved in those quiet places. Only bodies and broken homes remained. Milena stood on a hill and smiled. Her laugh echoed across dead lands. 3 days later, a dark man arrived. He wore a long black coat and boots. His eyes were calm and very cold. People said his name in low voices. He was called Iskander Draco. He did not fear blood or death. He listened to the village story. Then he looked at the graveyard. "This creature will not sleep," he said. Iskander walked alone at night. He carried fire, chains, and poison. He said sleep was an easy death. Pain was the true way of justice. He prepared a special snake venom. It would slow the vampire's body. He waited for Milena to rise again. This hunt would end in fire. The night watched in silence. That night, Milena left the grave again. Her steps were slow but strong. Iskander waited behind old stones. He watched her with careful eyes. When she came closer, he moved fast. He threw the chains around her arms. Milena screamed and tried to fight. Her strength was still very great, but Iskander did not let her go. Iskander dragged Milena to old wood. Dry logs were placed around her body. The venom kept her weak but awake. He wanted her to feel every moment. The fire was lit under dark skies. Flames slowly touched her pale skin. Milena screamed loud in sharp pain. Her voice cut through the night air. The villagers watched from far away. While burning, she began to laugh. Pain and joy mixed in her face. Her eyes burned brighter than fire. She screamed and laughed at the same time. The flames climbed higher and higher. Her body turned black and broke apart. The laugh slowly faded into smoke. When fire died, only ashes remained. The night became silent again. When the sun rose, the fire was gone. Only black ashes covered the ground. Iskander stood still and watched them. He said no words to the villagers. The air felt lighter than before. Birds slowly returned to the trees. People stepped closer with great fear. They looked for any sign of life. Nothing moved in the cold ashes. The villagers buried the ashes deep. They placed stones above the ground. No one spoke Milena's name again. But fear stayed inside their hearts. Some said they heard laughs at night. Some dreamed of burning eyes. Iskander left before the next dawn. His work was finished at last. Yet darkness never fully left. Years passed after that dark night. New people came to live near there. Old houses were rebuilt with stone. Children played again in the fields. The graveyard stayed quiet and still. No one walked there after sunset. Elders warned the young to remember. They spoke of fire and laughter. Fear lived inside old stories. Years passed after that dark night. New people came to live near there. Old houses were rebuilt with stone. Children played again in the fields. The graveyard stayed quiet and still. No one walked there after sunset. Elders warned the young to remember. They spoke of fire and laughter. Fear lived inside old stories. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.